All right, brethren. All right, I'm here. Hey, Fletch, Elijah. All right. Hey, if y'all can hear me, type one, would you? Can I be heard okay? I gotta watch my audio nowadays, because sometimes I be broadcasting, I don't even know it. So I want to make sure before you know, during my videos or before, or make sure that I can be heard. Can you, brother, hear me okay? Type one if you can hear me okay. Let me know if you can hear me. Thanks a lot, Elijah. Thank you, brother. All right. I want to give thanks to the Creator, man. I want to give thanks to the Creator for this opportunity. And I say that all the time, man. And that's why I think the Creator gave me a spirit to look at the world, to really look at the world, because if you're faithless, you brethren is faithless, you need to know. I mean, how do I say this? You need to feel special, man. I mean, you need to feel special. You need to feel, you gotta know, you gotta find a way to see the Creator every day. Because what we doing is walking. And it's a journey, man. We don't know when our journey gonna end. But we know we walking, we know we on a journey, and it helps when you have like water stations along the way where you can take a drink, get some refreshment, and keep going. Because a lot of people, we live in a reality where a lot of people prefer not to know the end of their journey or how long or how short before they come to the conclusion of the journey. And it's like, it's a dichotomy, because the world, they don't want to know. Faithless, I think they want to know, because the journey they're on, I mean, it's not easy when you're talking about going against the flavor of the world, the vibration of the world, which is what faithers are called to do. And so you need, what I call a little encouragement from day to day, and so that we can stay on we could be, have enough to finish the journey, to finish the walk. So I like to use this channel. I like to take this here channel, and I like to try to constantly point out the blessing we're under, why we are different from the world, how the Creator, He feel about us. I like to try to talk about the I don't know, blessing. We say that all the time. I like to talk about the gift. I like to talk about the uniqueness. I like to talk about what the Creator, man, He has done for us. He's done something spectacular for us. The only problem is that we sitting here, we in this reality, we in the flesh, and we know what the Creator has to say about the beautiful blessing and the what our future entails, what it holds, where we are headed. We know it's glorious. The OAHSPE, the practical guidebook, the revelation that He's given us is absolutely irrefutable. It blesses your soul. You read it. You can't believe, if you got the gift in you to attain to the Creator's voice, you can't believe it when you read it. Now, maybe I'm just assuming that it's that way. The way I feel is the same way that other faiths feel about the practical guidebook. I mean, He could not have sent it at any better time. Because in order to break from the beast kingdom, you need something it's got to make sense. It's got to have an anointing behind it, where it's just, you might not even be able to explain it very well, but it's got to have a power behind it. Sharice, sister, hi, how you doing, Sharice? Good to see you, sis. So we as faiths, I'm telling you, hey, brother, don't deceive yourself, man, and think that we need somebody in our corner, man. You know, I mean, we need brethren in our corner to speak up, to let your light shine. We need to hear it. We need to see it. We need all the help we can get, man, in this reality. Because I'm telling you, the danger of our reality is that our light, it could get dim, and you just kind of see the creator. He want us to be a certain way. He gave us the diving laws, the Zarathustrian laws. And these are things that you keep in your mind. That's the important thing to keep in your mind. Creator don't really ask us to get out and do a lot, do headstands and do backflips out there while we in the world. He don't ask us to go out and, conquer the world and everything. A lot of the battle, it take place in your mind, man. The flesh, it don't profit as much as the spirit do. See, your spirit is what matters. Yeah, there's supposed to be a healthy balance there. Your mind and your corporality, physical part. We're supposed to, you take care of your corporeal part. You feed it right. If you can be healthy as you can, that's how you take care of your corporal self. And then you got your physical self, where the creator is telling you what to do with that. Think this way, don't do that, look at this, and it shapes your spirit. Because see, when we lay our flesh down, all you got left is your spirit, and you shape your spirit. And the world don't know that. I know I say it a lot, but it don't mean it's not true. You know what I mean? See, we on another level when it comes to, what's a good word for mysteries of life? You faith this, and I just intend not to let you forget it. As long as the creator allows me, as long as he keep me on the earth, I'm gonna just constant. I'm gonna do what I believe he's given me to say. I know I'm very redundant. I have a limited message, but I ain't budging. Hey, Sharice, I'm gonna be a Taurus in that respect. I ain't budging. I don't care if my message is elementary, if it ain't exciting. I do care, but not at the expense of trying to tickle people's ears. I like to read the OAHSPE practical guidebook, and I'm just like anybody else, man. I like good food to eat. I want to eat good food, man. I want to eat good food while I'm, the creator, he says, okay, now Yaquab, I don't want you to eat meat anymore. And man, that was a blow, that was a real blow, but I was surprised at how easy it was for me. And I think particularly because what they got on the market, it make it easy on you to make that transition. It do make it easy on you. For you brethren, let's say you brethren, you're struggling with getting off meat. If you give plant food a chance, man, it ain't as bad as you think it is. It's got the same texture. The only thing you got to deal with is just the aftertaste, if anything, but you'll get used to it. The creator's made it easy. He's made it easy for you to break that habit. And that's a rough one to break. I know. I'm with you. I don't look down on people who haven't made that change, that switch, or they struggling with it. I don't look down on you, man. We just trying to do the best we can. Faith this. We faith this, man. We faith this. We're special. We're a unique people on all the earth. I know everybody say that, one of the ways that the creator, he separate you. You serious faith this. You read, you meditate, you study, you think on the creator, you take your mind and you give it to the creator and tell him to do whatever you want with it. Then the creator, he turn around and he give you an unworldly knowledge, so that if if you can answer a person in the world, when they get real with you and they tell you about how the things that they're going through in their life, and how they bothered, and what the answer is, and what it's all about, and that's where you faiths are real. I mean, you are the answer to the world. I mean, you faiths are the answer. You faiths are the answer, man. You know, the creator has chosen, he's elected you, brethren, to because you see that the world, it should, the OAHSPE, it should be without a shadow of a doubt. There should be an explosion in this country of people saying, you know what, we ought to drop everything, but it's not for the world. It is not for the world. I'm telling you, and the creator says it himself, how the faiths were going to be overrun. We've always been overrun in the world by the Uzians. The OAHSPE calls he calls the Brotherhood of Man three things, categorizes them three ways: the world's people, who just kind of live for the flesh. You got the faithists, and you got the Uzians, who are spiritual. They're subjective spiritualists, meaning they can have a spiritual inkling. They won't subscribe to the OAHSPE, the guidebook, for some reason. Won't be able to attain to the voice of the creator. But they can speak esoterically, very minimally. I mean, you see it all over YouTube. People, they talking about spiritual things. They don't give glory to the creator, don't talk about attaining to hear his voice. And they really are a lot of people that they get on, and they have a mindset to entertain brethren, to tickle people's ears, to make merchandise of people. Social media, more views you get, more money you can make if you're very controversial, if you're a good speaker and you can speak, and you can really attract people's attention one way or another. And a lot of ways you do that is ungodly ways, and people, they're the world's people in that sense. They're subjective spiritualists. They identify, though, the world can hear those people. The world can hear those people. Now, I'm saying those people, even though they are our brethren. Matter of fact, that reminds me of something. Now, I'm going to say something real quick, man. I don't, this ain't really the channel for politics, but I'm going to say something. It reminds me of that famous verse I always tell you, brethren, about how in this day and age, only rogues, this is what the creator said in the book of judgment, isn't it? Only rogues. I just can't get over that. The creator said only rogues are going to take office, your great offices in this day and age. Only rogues. That's like calling somebody a name. Now, I had a thought today, I was just sitting here thinking and looking at the on the computer, sort of thing. And I've been out of the, it caught my eye that, president just been elected. When they get elected, they make up a cabinet of, close administrators. You make up a cabinet, people who you're going to set policy through. You're going to move the nation one way or another. It's called a cabinet. The cabinet. Okay, now Trump won, and Donald Trump won. All right, and I've been kind of watching to see you know, how do I say this? I want to look at the creator, man. You know, I want to look at how the creator is going, what he's going to allow for the brotherhood of man at this particular time. I believe we're in the time of AGI, right? We read in the OAHSPE where only rogues are going to accept your great offices. That means undisciplined, unprincipled people. Now, Trump is setting up his cabinet, and just like I thought, you know, he set it up with all white people who are pro-Israel. They pro-Israel. Now, when he campaigned, of course, when people campaign, they get out, they'll tell you anything. They'll agree to anything if you just vote for them. That's all they do. They get out there, okay, what do you want? Higher wages. Okay, first day in office, I'm going to sign a bill. What do you want? I want legal immigration. Okay, first day in office, I'm going to sign a bill. And then he says, what do you want? I want 30-hour work week. He says, okay, they don't have no soul. They ain't got no character. And now you got President Trump. He's a Gemini operating on his lower vibration. So right off the bat, we know we got a guy. He ain't got no character. He blows with the wind, and he's beholden to financial interests. And he's surrounding himself with people who are pro-Israel. Now, I'm saying this because you, brethren, we live here. We on the planet. And you may not know what he's doing. You might not care, don't keep up. And, I kind of commend you for that. That gives you more time to dedicate yourself to elevating, maturing in your spirit. But we live in here with the Uzians. We on the earth. We not in our power. We not in our kingdom. We on the earth with the Uzians. They surround us. We're outnumbered by them. This is their world. The OAHSPE says that the Uzians, they were going to prosper, not you Faithists. Matter of fact, you know what? I'd like to show you that if you don't mind. I'd like to show you that where it says that. Only problem is, will I be able to find it before the video is over? Because I hate to start dancing and taking up a whole lot of time before I know it. The video is going to be over with. But let me give it a shot, okay? I want to show you what the creator said, our reality, what it's like. I mean, you already know this. I ain't going to be able to find it. I can't think of the let me see. What does it say? It said, let me just try. If I put in Uzians, man, it's going to be too many words. I'll just go ahead and tell you. And if I could find it within a little space of time, that's good. But if not, I'm going to have to give it up. I wanted to show you the verse where it said that they would prosper in the world, and Faithists would not. Let me try. I got to at least try to find it. I want to show you. I want to show you where the creator is talking, man. It's more powerful. You already read it, I'm sure. And he tells you, let me see, is this it? No, I don't think this is it. It's going to be, it's 41 mentions. And just looking at it, man, this is a hell of a study. Now, look, see, this is why it's hard to do a word study for me, man. It's like, I found, look at this, what it says here. You brother know this is in the Bible, right? What I got on the screen there. You know that's in the Bible, right? Look what the OAHSPE say. He called the Christians here, he flat out called them Uzzians. Look at that. Behold, the Uzzians have a custom of eating bread, drinking wine, saying, like the worshipers, you know who Baal Gad is? This person right here on the screen. That was a demon god. The OAHSPE is saying that the Uzzians, they have this custom. Eat of this, for it is my flesh. Drink of this, for it is my blood. Signifying that this which they do was commanded by me, God of heaven and earth. See, I was looking for another verse, and you get caught because there's everywhere you turn, man, the Creator is saying, see, I'm real. This is my word. I'm exposing the Bible. See, now look at this. You see it here in the OAHSPE, right? Now let's look at this in the King James real quick. Okay, I'm digressing. I'm getting distracted. I can tell. See, look at that. It's just another, see, it's solid evidence, man, because I left Christianity, and I'm including the Hebrew Israelites because they are under the same God, really. They call him Yeshua, Yahushai, and it's really the same God, really. And my mind is still blown that the whole world, you know what I mean? Make sure my mic don't cut off. I not know it. See, I'm just constantly amazed that I was under that deception. Now here it is in John 6:58, right? There it is, right before your very eyes. John 6:58, and then here it is, right here in the OAHSPE. And the OAHSPE is saying that's a demon. Share the tab, won't let me share. Exposing the scriptures. Here's the OAHSPE, and then here's the Bible. See? Exposing the Bible. Now, I was looking for that verse where it talked about the Uzzians was going to prosper in the world. Let me go back, try to find that. I don't think I'm going to be able to find it. Well, anyway. This is going to be a nice study tonight for me, if I can remember to do it. I'm looking for that one particular verse. I don't think I'm going to be able to find it. So I can't spend a whole lot of time trying to look for it. So it's, you brother know, I know you've read it, OAHSPE, where it says it talked about the Thetas and it talked about the Uzzians, and basically how this is going to be their thing. The world was going to be there. It's going to be like their play toy. Even the Bible says that too. So, it's no big thing. I just find it interesting that the OAHSPE is just so true. And it's one of the ways that we need to be able to see the Creator every day. Now, I was talking about Trump, and he set up his cabinet. And he spent all that time when he was campaigning telling the world how he was going to put America first and everything. And then he gets elected, and the first thing he does is he puts everybody around him who are for the state of Israel first. See, he just flat out lied. He don't mind, a Gemini working on their lower vibration like that. I don't want to be too harsh because I have some in my family, but that's about as low as you can get, man. When you're dealing with somebody who is that far away from their not having any character, they got Swiss cheese for a character. And so observing this president, he has Swiss cheese for there's no honor to this man. There's no dignity to this man. If you have followed him even a little bit, you see how he treats women, how he talks about them, had questionable photos taken with his own daughter, questionable photos. This is a man who he knows he's perfect for politics because he knows how to play people. He knows how to act black when he's around black people, when he's around natives, Hebrews. He knows how to act when he's around. He's a chameleon, He's like Snoop Dogg. They know how to act around. They act around according to the environment they are in. Now the OAHSPE, it says people who go for government, people who are in government in our day, they would be the worst. That's what the OAHSPE say. And the creator, he said that when a government don't serve the people, it's got to go. It's got to go. And so what I wanted to do as well, I found something came to my attention, and I want to share that with you, brethren, as well, before I get into the reading. A brother, he brought it to my attention, really. And it had something to do with government. And how, it's a real rabbit hole when you see the leadership, the corruption that we have been under. Now, I'm looking for the verse where it talked about it. And I might have clicked off on that by accident. There was a verse where the creator, he said something. Now, I better not go after that because I'll go down another rabbit hole. I'm just going to have to tell you and move on because I want to get to some verses here in my room before I get to the reading. But basically, now, you know what? I want to read something about what the creator, he has to say about what he has to say about the situation we're in. And it had something to do with patriotism because we live under a system. And so when you look at the world, now let me see if I can, I know I can find this if I did a little quick word search on it. And I want to look at what the creator says about where we live, because this is one of those verses where he really pinpoints, really pinpoints where we are, America. And he just pegs it in describing the way this nation where we live. Look, matter of fact, I think this is it right here. Let me look. Yeah, here it is right here. Now, this is what book is this? The Voice of Man. Now, a brother, he sent me a verse, or he brought it to my attention, and it was the creator giving his mind on where we live. He was kind of mocking America because of our system. And after that post that the brother sent me, then I fell on this, which let me know, Yaquab, share this. I want you to share it so that we can look at where we live. We live here. This is the spirit of the people of the Uzzians where we live. Now, I'm trying to find a jumping in point. Now, this is, I think, a repenting God that had fallen. No, this is the voice of man. Okay, so this is a period of time where man would begin to lament what he has done. It's talking about today, man. You know, you brethren, you're very familiar with this, I'm sure. And it's just amazing how the creator, he just nails it. I mean, telling you what's in the psyche, spirit of people. Now, the man is lamenting his impotency in verse 7, where I'm going to jump in at. His impotent attempts at trying to govern himself. See, that's the problem, really, man. That's the whole big problem with reality. We can't govern ourselves. We can't live with one another. We gotta be divided against one another. We can't just get our minds off of one another. We gotta have what somebody else has got. We can't focus on the creator who created this place to be a paradise, and then after this, even greater things. We just can't, he gave us that free will. We said, we got it. We good from here. You gave us a body. You gave us a mind. We can think now. You gave us the type of governments we should have. Okay, we got it. So sayonara, see you later. We'll take it from here. And the creator said, wait. And we just was gone by then. So now here in the voice of man, the creator telling us both back then and now what our minds would be, what it would be. And I don't think we've even gotten to this, what I'm getting ready to read yet. We haven't even gotten to this point yet. Look where we're gonna get, though. Jumping into verse 7, Voice of Man is the book. It says, see here, man is lamenting himself, right? He's humbled now because he's seen his efforts, the failure of his efforts, and the creator is documented for us. Now I'm jumping in the middle here. It says, no, I do not even have power to shape my own size and stature, but all things take form and dimension, whether I will or not. In your own way, the walls of the world are built. By their magnitude, I am confounded. By the majesty of your hand, appalled. Why have I vainly set myself up as the highest of your works? My failures are worse than any other living creature under the sun. I cannot build my house in perfection as a bird does. My ingenuity cannot fashion a spider's net. I cannot sail up in the air like a bird, nor live in the water like a fish, nor dwell in harmony like the bee. Half of my offspring die in infancy, and a multitude of my household are quarrelers, fighters, drunkards, beggars. The best of my sons and daughters are less faithful than a dog. I go forth to war to slay my brother. See, now it's starting to get hot now, because he approaches. See, we haven't even began to lament like this. We haven't even gotten there yet. Talking about, see, let me say something, man. The smoke is killing me. What I see when I look at the world, when I look at the internet, we're so fragmented that we think everything pertains to us. Everything is always talking about us, my race, everything that is godly. Everybody claiming the creator for their own. You know what I mean? Everybody claiming that all spirituality is about us, 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 us. And we can't see the creator. He's so much greater. He's so much greater than a group of people, man. Can't see that creator by definition means man and woman, created beings, all of them. We can't even look at the world, man, and see that. Does a mom or dad pick one child over another? If they have 10 children, Sharice there's got 6 children. Does she pick one? Oh, this is the only one that is my child. They're all her children, man. Why can't we think like that is what I wonder. I mean, I can't really, because I was a racist at one time. So I do see how we can get that way. I can't forget that. I was a racist until the creator hit me with the OAHSPE. And it's been a long road trying to get all of that dust out of my spirit. I think I'm down to like 3 dust spots left out of the billions I used to have, getting rid of that vibration. Yeah, Sharice says, yeah, all of them are amazing. Yeah, why can't the creator feel that way about his creation? See, why is that? I wonder. How do we get here? Now I know somebody will say because of the way they treated us, and then vice versa. So you really can't argue too much, but you do have to let the creator speak. You have to let him speak, and then his word is good. The creator's word is good. That shuts all mouths. So we're fragmented because what I see now is that the beast kingdom has gotten a hold of man. It's gotten a hold of the world. And so people are in camps now. Even though if you showed people the organ of a white man and an organ of the native, he wouldn't be able to tell the difference. But if you put a color on him, see, then everything changes. But the common denominator is they both came from the creator. You see, we can't think like that though. So the creator in the voice of man here, this book right here, is basically he prophesying saying, okay, if you don't want to get rid of that beast, you're going to get to this point right here. This is the point you're going to get to. All right. Now this is man lamenting himself. He's lamenting. We're at the part now where he's lamenting his inability really to do anything, man. He's lamenting himself. He says, my sons and daughters are less faithful than a dog. He said, I go to war to slay my brother. See, now it's going to get hot now. This is what I brought this up for. I go forth to war to slay my brother. Even while your wide earth has room for all. Yes, I plagued the earth with starvation, sin, and untimely death. See, he coming to his senses now, really. We haven't gotten here yet. Man has not gotten to this place yet. But see, the creator, he going to bring him to this place. He going to bring him to admit all these words we getting ready to read here. He says, oh, if only I could school myself not to boast of my greatness. Instead, I should be forever ashamed in your sight, O Jehovah. But I will acknowledge my iniquities. I can hide nothing from the eye of my creator. Hear me then, O Father. Now he getting ready to really getting ready to get down. Now, not only on himself, he getting ready to get down on the world. It ain't just America. although America is endemic, I think, of what we're reading here. I think it's primarily really, really looking at America, because now he's going to start getting down on our military. And America is known for its military. Voice of man. This is coming out of the voice of man, you know. I took up arms against my brother. With great armies I encompassed him to despoil him. By the stroke of my sword, I multiplied his widows and orphans. The cry of anguish that came out of their mouths, I answered by the destruction of my brother's harvest. Ah, Dave, brother. This is an ego-driven world. Good to see you, brother. I figure you probably went to your tante for a couple of days. And I'm serious. I was saying, where's Dave at? You know, wonder where Dave has been. Hope he's all right. And then my inspiration said no, I can't attribute that to my inspiration. My mind said he probably went to Yatante for a couple of days. Y'all know what Yatante is? That's a heavenly realm. That's like a meeting place in the spiritual world. Yatante, if I'm saying that right, Dave. You know, this here brother, he goes there from time to time. He's able to do that. It's a subjective place that you can go to. You, brother, can go to. He said, this is an ego-driven world. Ain't that the truth, man? I. Yep. Boy, you hit it. Oh, man. That's the truth. Not a creator-driven world, which would be we, as in all of us. Yes. Regardless of race, creed, or origin. That, man, you killed it, brother. You killed it, man. We all got kidneys, organs. You see, the only problem, man, is when you get to the color. See, that's the only problem. And it's got, I'm telling you, you know, man, we making a mistake. You brethren out there, you making a mistake, man. Being a racist. If you a racist, I'm talking to the whole world, man. You know, you better cut that out. You better stop that. I'm telling you. Not me. I ain't saying nothing. The creator is saying it. See, that's why it's going to be hard for most of the world to pick up the OAHSPE, because we like to pound on our brother, and the creator won't let you. He won't give you no liberty to do that. He'll take care of his children, his own self. But that ain't good enough for us. See, it says, verse 11, to my captains and generals who showed great skill in killing. See, that's another thing, man. America, they really pride themselves on, you know. Now, I don't live overseas, Europe, Africa, China, you know. I don't know what their mindset is over there. I can guess. I only live here in the Western Hemisphere. I'll let my faithless brethren deal with the situation in other continents. I got faithless brethren. You got faithless brethren over there, handling business over there. You know, giving the word before the destruction. You know, I know it's faithless brethren situated all over, giving warning. Nobody's listening, but they still night and day sound the alarm, because we know that one day we know what the creator is doing with us. He's gonna keep channels like these and my brethren in the description box. He's gonna keep their word from getting out like it should. And then when the world say, but you never told us, and then faithists are gonna explode. How much you want to bet? Then it's like the creator is a master poker player. You know what I mean? He hold back. He holding aces, right? But when you look at him, he can make himself start sweating like, oh man, if I go all in, that's all my chips and I'm trying to bluff, make himself look like that, and you sitting over there holding a pair of threes. You looking at you're like, oh, hey, he's sweating, man. I got him. I can bluff him. Here, I'm all in, all my chips in. Okay, man. I digress, but you get my point, man. You know what I mean? The creator, he wait until the world put all his chips in, and then he explode on them. He say, "See here, my brothers and sisters were here all that time, trying to tell you, trying to warn you. Did you listen to them? No. Did you have your algorithm set against the type of videos they was putting out? Yes. That's why you couldn't. And on top of that, I didn't want you to hear them. Now I'm convinced that that's the way it's going to be. So let's get back because I'm running out of time. Creator, he's showing the world. He's showing you your naked self, man. America primarily. He's showing you your nakedness, man. See. To my captains and generals who showed great skill in killing, I built monuments in stone and iron. I wonder if we could find that on the internet. Do you think we could find that on the internet? Let's see. Let's see real quick. John J. Pershing, commander of the American Expeditionary Forces during World War I. John Jervis, Valley Forge. Captain F.J. Walker, Battle of the Atlantic. You get my drift. That's the way we do here in this country. See, we make monuments on this date. This man here, he stood on the hill and he wiped out 300 of the enemy. This great man. See? Just like the OAHSPE say, man. It's just like the creators say, It's a terrible shame, man. To my captains and generals who showed great skill in killing, he said, I built monuments in stone and iron. Yes, I inscribed them from top to bottom with their bloody victories. And in my vanity, this man talking to himself, in my vanity, I called out to the young saying, behold the glory of these great men. I honor them. I have built these great monuments. Come, sign up today for the draft. Or the enemy, the Russian, the Chinese. You see them on the horizon? Come, sign up, take up arms. And the youth of my household were whetted with ambition for spoil. The example of my hand made them train themselves for warfare. To my colonels and generals, I gave badges of gold. I called to the young women saying, come, a great honor I give you. You shall dance with the officers of death. And they fluttered up on tiptoe, elated by the honey of my words. Oh, Jehovah, how gaping my wickedness, how utterly I have failed, except in making a flow of my brother's blood, the relish of Satan, the relish of Satan. To my destroying hosts, I have given great honor and glory. In the pretense of enforcing peace, I hewed my way in flesh and blood. See? Deception. I made an illusion, a kingdom. I called out to my people saying, we must have a kingdom. I showed them no reason for it, but I pressed them to take up arms and follow me for patriotism's sake. See? And that's the big thing, man, in America. Patriotism. You know, what is the mom's something in apple pie? Apple pie? Mom hot dog and apple pie is? I don't know. You know the slogan. See, we brainwash. It's always got to be us against them. That's what patriotism is. It teaches man to war with his brother. Patriotism's sake. And yet, what was patriotism? Behold, I made it as something greater than you in your commandment. You shall not kill. So Creator said, it was an excuse. It was an excuse you gave to yourself so that you can go over and kill your brother and take what he's got. And man says, yes, by the cutting of my words, I taught them my brother was my enemy, that to fall upon and destroy him and his people was great patriotism. And they ran at the sound of my voice for my glory and the greatness of my kingdom. They committed great havoc. Yes, I built colleges for training my young men in warfare. You know, let's look at that. Colleges for training young men in warfare. Colleges for training great men in warfare. Virginia Military Institute educates young men and women to be leaders in the military. Norwich University, North Georgia, Texas A&M, Virginia Tech, Georgia Military College, Army of Mountain Warfare School, just like the Creator say, man. It's just as he say, man. You know, I drew boundaries, making borders here and there, saying, this is my kingdom. All others are my enemies. This is the voice of man. Can't read any further. Time for the reading of the word, you know. And I got on this trip by talking about Trump, and he went before the people talking about he was going to end the violence, the wars that was going on. And he played the people. He played them, you know, because now he's putting together his cabinet, and his cabinet is going to make sure that America is going to war. They're going to make sure of it. And he chose them because of their track record. Oh boy, green tea. His name, it may really mean something now to me. His name, remember I was sharing with y'all. I think now that I think about it, I think the Creator used Trump to announce Gia, Jiayan. I think he used him to announce Gia. And now he's using him to announce AG. Now, call me kooky, man, but again, remember my reasoning? I think I might have something here. Remember? His first president, what was the name of Donald Trump's first vice president? See? Y'all remember? Pence, right? Trump, Pence, trumpets. You know, to get your attention. Trumpets. Something's getting ready to happen. Trumpets. Trumpets. Right? See? You see his name? Pence. Pence, right? Trump Pence. See? Remember? Now look. Now look. What is the name of Donald Trump's vice president elect? Okay. See? Look. Vance. Vance. Trump Pence. Trump Pence. Trump Pence. Right? Yeah, it does. I'm telling you, I think there's something here. I think the creator is saying something. What does it mean when the Bible says something doubled? Okay, the Bible can have multiple meanings for something that is said double. A double reference to speak of events that are separated. Okay. A blessing. God bless you, double. This is not what I'm looking for. Here, I think this will help. What does it mean when God says something twice? What does it mean? I can't find a good answer, something short. What? Let me see. When something is mentioned twice, what does it mean in the Bible when something is repeated? Emphasis on a particular idea, concept, or instruction, highlighting its importance and urging the reader to pay close attention to it. Now, that part, that vibrates with me. When something is repeated, the emphasis to pay close attention is pay attention. Repetition is often used, okay, to create rhythm and poetry. Okay. All right. So the part that resonates with me in this case is making it stand out and deeply ingrained in the reader's mind. Okay. Because I think it's beyond coincidence that his first vice president's name. Oh, shoot. I forgot to share the screen. It cut me off. It cut me off of the screen. So let me do that. Get it back. So let me get it back first. So I think that is telling that, you know, his vice president and both his vice presidents, their last name rhymes with trumpets. I think it can be said that it's the creator is using this to tell us something. And then when you consider the confluence of events, you know, this time of AG, Pluto going into Aquarius next Tuesday, the Cosmic era, that's too much, man, to be a coincidence. I'm sorry. That's way too much. And now he's in office. He's surrounding himself with people who are certainly going to take this nation to war. We are certainly going to war with Russia. We are certainly going to go. Now, time for the reading of the word. So I'll just leave it at that for that right there. And it's time for the reading of the word. I wanted to dedicate Tuesday to being a King series. And that means today we go to SETHANTES. Been looking at SETHANTES. The last time we left, he was setting up the organization on the earth There was let me see. Let's get it first. SETHANTES. We covered the first couple of chapters, and SETHANTES, first god of the first cycle of the earth. So we see with the first couple of chapters, we saw the problems that were beginning to arise. We left off at chapter 3, or actually, he was setting up his administration. So let me share the screen here. If it'll let me. Don't want to let me. Okay, there we go. All right. So his mission was to go administrate the earth, set it up, administrate it, and now man is going to begin his journey to his spiritual elevation, to make a long story short. We left off at chapter 3. And we left off at chapter 3. Let me give a little bit more of a summary to set us up for chapter 3. Okay, so it basically talked about the marshals and the lords. And they getting set up to come to the earth or the heavens, and then the administration in the heavens is going to set up the administration of the earth. Make a long story short. So now we come to chapter 3. We're going to pick up where it says, "And may the Creator bless the reading of this word." Chapter 3, SETHANTES, it says, "And in heaven God appointed angel surveyors to survey the earth and atmosphere, and astronomers to note the place of the stars, and enumerators to number the inhabitants of the earth and atmosphere, to grade and apportion their places, and nurses and physicians to receive the Essenes, the young spirits, to administer to them, and the builders of heavenly mansions, and weavers of fabrics, and covering the newborn, the Essenes, and builders of heavenly ships for carrying the inhabitants from place to place. And God appointed officers and teachers. And when God had completed his appointments, the people were sent to their places and began the work allotted to them." And God called the Asaphs. He said to them, "Go down to the earth and bring me the first fruit of the first resurrection, the newly dead. The newly dead." And the Asaph said, "Your will is our will, but what do you mean by the first fruit of the first resurrection?" God said, "The spirits of the dead." The Asaph said, "The spirits of the dead? Who are they?" God said, "When a corporeal comes forth out of his corporeal body, this shall be called death." The Asaph said, "Who then are the spirits of the death? Spirits of death." And God answered them, saying, "Oh, you who died in infancy." So the Asaphs we see here, they don't know what corporeal death is because they died in infancy. The Creator is showing us. "Oh, you who died in infancy, how can you learn corporal things? Go then to my Lord Waga, and he will show you." One of the names of the first territories was called Waga. The Asaphs departed and went down to the earth, and the Lord through the Ishars delivered 500 Essenes to the Asaphs, who brought them to Horeb before the throne of God. And God said to them, "Who are these?" The Asaph said, "These are the first fruit of the first resurrection. Behold, we know now the beginning of the end, beginning and end of corporality. The earth body of these young spirits, Essenes, was only a womb from which they are now delivered." Abortions, what it sounds like. Stillborn. God said, well done. Take these young spirits, these Essenes, and feed and clothe them, for this is your labor. The Asaphs answered, alas, we have tried to feed them with all types of food on which ourselves subsist, but they will not eat. Interesting, ain't it? So we crossed over. We still want earth food. They wanted earth food still. God said, alas. So SETHANTES said, alas, oh, you innocents, you feed on ethereal food. These young spirits must have atmospherian food, even as corporeans subsist on corporeal food. Go then, fulfill this first resurrection, for as much as you deliver them, so will you be delivered in time to come. So the Asaphs then departed, and taking the Essenes with them, but after a while they returned to God, SETHANTES, saying, behold, O God, we have gathered the atmosphere of trees of all kinds and of seeds and plants that grow on the earth, and all most beautiful to our senses and savory to the smell. And we gave these to the Essenes, but lo, they will not eat. Being alarmed, we again hasten to you for information. God said, oh, you of little wisdom, knowing so much of heaven, so little of earth, go back to the place where you brought these Essenes, where you brought them from, and learn what kind of food they subsisted on. The Asaphs went back with all haste to learn in reference to the food, and in due time they came again before God, saluting, saying, what shall we do, O God? Behold, these Essenes, while in corporeal form, feasted on fish and worms. How can we bring them to the atmospherian part of these things? How can we bring them the atmospherian part of these things? God said, the last time you were present, you said you had gathered the atmospherian part of the trees, seeds, and plants growing out of the earth. Why then can you not gather the atmospherian part of fish and worms? The Asaph said, alas, we have observed the difference. The trees, plants, and fruits emit delightful atmospheres, most nutritious to the spirit. But that which is emitted from the living fish and living worm is foul-smelling, being only the sweat and dead substance evaporating. What then shall we do? God said, go to the place where mortals kill fish and worms, and in the same time that mortals tear these things with their teeth, snatch from their hands and mouths the atmospherian parts of the food and give it to these Essenes. Remember also that little by little you shall teach them to live on other kinds of food. And as you do with these Essenes, do this also for others afterward, remembering that what men subsist on in corporal life is entailed, and the footnote reads necessitated. It is bound on them in spirit for a space of time after entering atmospheria, and they shall be fed spiritually with like substance. And then the Asaphs departed. And on the third day after that, the voice of Jehovah came to God, saying, my son, behold, what Asaphs have thoughtlessly done in your name. They came to the fishery and did as you directed, gathering food for the Essenes. And the Essenes stood at their side, saying, why gather food for us? Behold, we are now strong in spirit. Allow us to gather for ourselves. And the Asaphs said, it seemeth well. Do as you desire. So the Essenes went to the fishermen and fisherwomen who were eating raw flesh, and the Essenes laid hold of the atmospheric part and ate a sufficiency of it. Then the Asaph said to them, "You have feasted sufficiently. Come away with us now." But lo, the Essenes engrafted themselves on the fishermen and fisherwomen and would not depart. The Asaphs, not knowing what to do, called on my name. Oh God, quickly send them those skilled in deliverance, so that my Essenes are preserved to everlasting life. And God summoned those skilled in deliverance of engraftment and dispatched them hastily with messengers to the fisheries. Jehovah said, from the trees, fruits, flowers, grains, and seeds and roots that grow in the ground, I have created a ceaseless harvest. I have created a ceaseless harvest going upward into the atmosphere, which shall be the sustenance of spirits of men newborn in heaven. So we see what we're going to feed on when we are born again into our spirit. Trees or fruits, flowers, grains, and seeds, and roots that grow in the ground. A ceaseless harvest going upward to atmosphere. That's going to be our sustenance. Spiritual food in heaven. But he shall return to the butcheries. So let me go back up. It says, I've created a ceaseless harvest going upward into the atmosphere, which shall be the sustenance of spirits of men, newborn in heaven. But whoever feasts on flesh on earth shall not find spiritual food in heaven. But he shall return to the butcheries and eating houses where flesh is eaten. And before it is rotten, he shall feast on its atmospheric part. Place a guard, therefore, over the newborn, lest they engraft themselves on mortals, feasting on their feast, and so go down to destruction. Well, after many days, the Asaphs came before God, saying, the physicians severed those who were bound, and we brought them away. Shall this be our labor day and night, to lead these Essenes about, finding them clothes and food? For we have observed that the more we do for them, the less they do for themselves. Jehovah spoke through God, saying, a nurse I provided for the newborn, but when he is grown, I command him to provide for himself, so that he may be a glory in my kingdoms. By charity alone, you cannot raise man up, but be diligent in teaching him to continually try to raise himself. For in this lies the glory of manhood. Now, see, if I may digress for a second, man, that's the power of Christianity. You ain't got to do nothing. It's all done for you. That's the way America like it too. I'm saying America because I'm real familiar with Christianity. As a whole, not everybody's like that. There are really brethren, I mean, sincerely deceived, who they do works and charity. But for the most part, man, people love Christianity because you confess with your mouth, believe in your heart, confess with your mouth, and you're home free, man. You got a ticket that says admit one, and that's the way people like it. It's all on Jesus. He did it all. Put it on his tab. It's on his tab, And so you ain't got to do nothing. It's just like this verse here say, or the one above. They were complaining, the more we do for them, the less they do for themselves. If we keep getting them food, are we going to keep doing this all the time? Or we provide for them, they don't do anything for themselves? And the Creator, he says that that's not his will. At first, when newborns, they need to be helped, but after a while, Creator, he expects you to provide for yourself. You have the ability to do it. And then it says, the Asaph said, if we leave the Essenes alone, they will return to the fisheries and fasten themselves upon mortals, doing nothing but eating. God said, near the fisheries, but in Atmospheria, God said, near the fisheries, but in Atmospheria, go and fashion a colony, and it shall be your colony in heaven. Take these young spirits there, not showing them the way to the fisheries. And the colony, put them to work, weaving, making clothes, and otherwise producing. But you yourselves go for the food at the fisheries and bring sufficient every day, giving only those to those who labor, or go to invalids and helpless ones. By this you shall inspire them to labor, which is the foundation of the growth of the Spirit. Labor, foundation of the growth of the Spirit. See, and that, man, I'm telling you, you stagnating, you're not working your mind, changing it, making it change its mind, your attitudes, your thoughts, your according to knowledge. That's stagnation. We, elevating is constant. It's 24/7 in the sense that we constantly working on getting rid of the corporeal mind, trying to put on the spiritual mind, and that takes labor. I mean, we gotta work our minds. I'll give you an example. Like I find I have to, I find, man, I have to keep fighting. I have to fight, man. Put down attitudes, put down desires, put down old ways of thinking. I mean, to change my mind, to change it. I want to change, to take off the old way of thinking, put on the new way, and then it becomes constitutional in you. It becomes organic. Remember the scripture we read a while back where the Creator says that if a person has been given enough time so that their mindset becomes organic, meaning your first response is always a spiritual one. Bring them up here to Etheria or wherever, bring them up here, for such is my kingdom made of. See? Labor. He said, by this you shall inspire them to labor, the young spirits, which is the foundation of the growth of the Spirit. See? So you don't have to be out in the street, giving all your money away, helping old ladies across the street. We can labor within ourselves to train our mind to be a servant, to humble, to not be able to get triggered, with somebody, that's the problem. I mean, I don't like to talk on the phone, and I get triggered, and I'm trying to get better because I don't like small talk. I just don't got no time for it. But I think I'm getting a little better. And so the change is coming because I'm making my mind labor. I can do that with other attitudes too. The Creator is saying, inspire the young spirits to labor, man, labor. Work your mind and use the template of the practical guidebook to help you labor, to fit into that template, man. He said that is the foundation of growth of the Spirit. Eventually, they will not only care for themselves, but join you in helping others, which is the beginning of the second resurrection. They're going to key right there, Once I take on, the labor is in my mind, and it should manifest in the Spirit, And after a while, you look back, you say, man, I don't even know that person that that used to be me. That's our mission. That's our purpose for the Vedas. This then is the lesson you have learned, that according to the diet and habit of mortals on earth, so must you provide the same for their spirits when when first entered in heaven. Choose, therefore, from your own people a sufficient number to make all things required for a delightful colony, whether it is food, clothing, nurseries, hospitals, place of worship, or a place of dancing, and there receive all the young spirits who are delivered from the earth, raising them up in industry, virtue, wisdom, myrrh, love, benevolence, and adoration, and this shall be a new heaven for you all. You are my chosen and an example colony of all the kingdoms I shall build in my heaven. The time is coming when the whole atmosphere around the earth shall be filled with countless millions of angels born out of the earth, meaning death, going to rise. Be swift in your labor. The people spring up from the earth rapidly into heaven. And every colony you now establish shall in time to come be a great kingdom requiring experienced workmen. Whoever labors most efficiently for Jehovah, I will promote to wider fields. So we can't get away from it, man. We have to get used to the, labor is always going to be around, and I hate labor. I don't want to, I'm a lazy Libra, I'm being honest. But it's different when it's in the spiritual, because earthly labor, to me, it's always been monotonous. It's not really, you don't really see any results. It's just monotony, routine, boredom, pick up this box, take it over there. And then when you get finished, go back and do the same thing all over again. And that wears on certain men. That wears on them, man. They want to have a purpose in mind. People are better when you show them, hey, this is going to benefit this or that, or by you doing this, it's going to be a benefit to this. You're going to make a difference. You're going to be, this or that. I think that men were built for that type of labor. Then they put even more into it than when they do in capitalism. As most people don't benefit the same in capitalism. Capitalism, the idea is to get the most it can out of you and then leave the rest to those who are using you. If that makes sense, is to get the most out of you, So you get worked till you about 60, 65. In your best years, you give away. You don't have time for spirituality. You just give it away, and all for that carrot on the stick of 3 or 4 or 5 years where maybe you can spend money and travel, and that's not fair, man. And you can't tell me that's the kingdom. You can't tell me that's the will of the Creator. I think a man is he's way greater than than the way he's used in this reality. He's far greater than that, man. You are one of the cornerstones of SETHANTES. You are one of the cornerstones. Who's you? Who's you? Who is you? So we have to go all the way back up to find out who is you. Now, I think it's the ASAPs. You are the ASAPs who are building building the first colonies, the ASAPs. You are one of the cornerstones of SETHANTES. SETHANTES, remember, one of the entities of the Creator. SETHANTES is established culture. Also, enforced culture. It is imposed and it is compelled culture. The way things are going to be. You're starting it. You're getting it built. You ASAPs, doing this with the young spirits, building colonies, preparing for the greater number of Essenes coming in. You are one of the cornerstones of SETHANTES, a time where things are established and set in motion, if I'm not mistaken. Tradition, the way things are going to be done. SETHANTES, from what I understand, that time has come to an end. Now we in the cosmic era. You are one of the cornerstones of Cephas, and his house shall embrace Atmospheria and the whole earth. Cephas. Cephas' house is going to embrace Atmospheria and the whole earth. Whole earth is going to be about tradition and the way, structure and the way things always have been done. It's going to embrace Atmospheria and the whole earth. Words are already taking root in the mouths of mortals, and for tens of thousands of years, war will reign. Might against might, darkness against darkness. Hundreds of millions will be slain in wars on the earth, and their souls be thrown into chaos. Even as you saw these spirits fastening on the mortal for food, so will spirits in chaos. Millions of them fasten themselves on the battlefields, still battling, or fasten themselves on mortals, obsessing them to madness and death. So, a couple things here. You see where the labor was going to get it was going to blow up for the ASAPs. It was going to blow up. They was going to have a lot of work to do, man. When they had the 500 young spirits, the first harvest of the first resurrection, a couple of paragraphs ago, they was wore out then. Creator is saying that make sure your labor is swift building these colonies, man, because people are going to start dropping, kicking a bucket left and right, man. Coming up here to Atmosphere, it's going to be a lot of them. They're going to need a place to be inhabited. Creator is telling you now that these are going to be spirits who are going to be holding on to mortals, not wanting to, go to these colonies. It's going to be, chaos. Chaos was going to be in Atmospheria. People not knowing they were dead, not believing they were dead, still doing the same things on the earth that they were doing before they came in the Atmosphere, fighting one another, chaos, hell. Chapter 4. May the Creator bless the reading of this word. See how far for the end. So God established colonies in heaven for the reception of spirits of mortals, and the colonies embrace the arts of healing, education, industry, drapery, manufacturing, building of ships, and all things required for the spirit, even as corporal things are required by mortals. And great labor came upon the hosts of God who established these things, toiling day and night, receiving young spirits, providing food and clothing for them. And many of the hosts of God lamented that they had come to the corporal earth. And they framed songs and anthems of lamentation, and these they chanted even while at labor. So I think we might have even read this in the first, this when I started. No, I don't think we did. I don't think we covered this. And so we get a picture that the angels, the laboring angels, they got tired of what they were doing. They left Etheria. They came down to the Red Star to build it up. They're working on the colonies. They're receiving the young spirits, and they get tired. Toiling day and night, it says. Receiving the Essenes. Working. And they started lamenting. They started lamenting, man, And their way of relief was singing songs and anthems of lamentation. That provided something for them. But you got to remember the Ihans, they made it with the Ihwans, and now you got the Druks and the, who was it? The Ihans, the angels, and then the Ihans and Ihwans, and then the Druks. And so the Creator, he said, well, this is why I told you not to partake of the tree of life. Because you're going to start having progeny, and then you're going to have to raise them up. Well, now the angels see the error of their ways, and they're now lamenting. They're framing songs and anthems of lamentation. They're sorry. Because the labor was wearing them down. And so they're singing songs and wanting to, remembering where they came from. So it says, God was troubled that they were lamenting in the presence of Essenes, and he called together the proper officers in order to rebuke them. But lo and behold, the light of Jehovah spoke from the throne, saying, do not rebuke them, O my son. Did I not command them, saying, I've created a new world, the earth? Come and enjoy it. And when they had come, did I not say to them, enjoy all fruits of the earth, except the fruit of the tree of life, lest you die? But corporal, physical, carnal spoke to them, and they believed in corporal. Why then shall they not lament? Do they not remember their former homes in Etheria, and thus aspire to regain them? So, Creator telling you, giving us a little recap of why the whole situation is now come to pass in their misery. He said, but corporal spoke to them, the fallen angels, and believed in them. They believed in corporal. The good angels that fell believed in the invitation to mate with mortals, if I'm not mistaken. But seek, O my son, to make their lamentations a glory in the souls of the Essenes, so that they may aspire to the higher heavens. The voice departed, and God, perceiving the wisdom of Jehovah, commanded certain officers to collect many of the anthems and deposit them in the library of Horeb in heaven. And it was done. This then is representative of their lamentations. Oh, I think I did cover this because I tried to sing this. That's all right, Where is my throne, O Jehovah? When I was happy and my feet wandered, I dwelt with your host, far above, your glory shining. Oh, the songs in your upraised kingdoms. When shall I rejoice in the music of my own house? Oh, those sparkling running waters. Oh, the pastimes, the feast of love. Where is it, O Jehovah? It was my home in high heaven. I fell in darkness. Wandering soul within me that led me forth. The gardens of Jehovah stood on every hand, senseless feet to take me onward. Into the darkness I was lured. Sweet perfumes arose amid the darkness, intricate in your glory, O Jehovah. I lost the way. I was lost. The music of your spears was shut out. I was enveloped in darkness. Where is my home, O Jehovah? Why have I forsaken it? Crystals and high arches on every side, and the songs and on every side full, standing out, shining, and the songs of my sweet loves. Such was my home in place of revelry. I bartered them all away, wandering forth, buried myself in the opaque, in the dark. Oh, for my home in high heaven. Myrrh song rest. I don't blame them for lamenting. Oh, for my home in high heaven. Myrrh song rest. And love clear shining. Think about that for a second, man. Myrrh song and rest. The home of the angels, Etherean. You, O Jehovah, have given me sons and daughters. Out of this darkness, my gems were born. Oh, I will polish them up. Kin of my kin, I will raise them up. Your goddesses in heaven above will come in ships of fire descending. My jewels shall enter and rise with me. We shall search for my home, the haven of rest. I see you, O Jehovah, in the distance higher than the highest of heavens. Oh, hasten, my home, my rest. Oh, ripen these, my precious diadems. Oh, take us to ethereal worlds. But no one could speak of their numerous lamentations, for there were hundreds of thousands of them. And as the Ethereans sang them, the young spirits, the newborn, the atmospherians listened and looked upward. So those songs of lamentation, they gave them hope of the spiritual. Creator, he used that so that they would desire the spiritual over the physical. That will conclude the reading of this word, brethren. Let me put the link in the room, see if anyone wants to have a word or say anything, add to the study. So Sethantes, it's the part that I think about is where he told him not to partake of the tree of life consequences, but even the creator, he could even use that to bring a great harvest to himself, souls of people. Oh, I forgot to put the link. Let me put the link in the room. So if anybody, brethren, you have anything you want to share, or feel free. The mic, I put the link in the room. Just click on it. I'll bring you in. So one thing that that catches my mind during this reading was where he talked about labor is the growth of the spirit. Y'all remember that part? He said, what did he say? He said something. Let me see if I can find it real quick. He said, it is through labor that the spirit, it grows. Let me see if I can find that real quick. He says something is by labor. He said, by this you shall inspire them to labor, which is the foundation of growth of the spirit. There's our lesson right there. There's our lesson right there, man. That's our life lesson right there. That means to attain the creator's, to learn knowledge. See what he said here? Growth of the spirit. See, we in a situation, I fear there's probably faiths who are stillborn. You don't grow in the spirit. You stagnating. See, while we here, we're supposed to learn, elevate, practice, pray, take your mind and use it, man. Don't let the corporal win over you. You get these carnal, you give in your senses. I mean, they're going to win, a lot of times, but it's easy, it seems, what the creator is saying for us. He concerned with us. You elevate, man. Take advantage of the opportunity. The world ain't going to let up, Just forget about that, man. I don't want to get robbed. I don't want, and every day, more and more the distractions are going to come. I talked a little earlier about what's going on in the world and what the new president is doing. And for people like, me, I believe I'm set up to be a watchman and report back to you, brethren, and tell you what is going on that you maybe don't have time to keep up with. But I'm telling you, we headed for war. We headed there. We got a man in office who's a chameleon. He ain't got no character. He's bought off to the highest bidder. He has no foundation. He has no constitution. He's a Gemini working on his lower vibration, means that he's got a character that's the same as Swiss cheese. I hate to say that. I don't mean to be negative, but there are people in our reality who operate on their lower vibration. And that usually means they're in it for themselves. They are thinking about themselves. And the creator said in his word, only rogues are going to accept your great offices. I'm telling you, I didn't say it. The creator said it. So watch out, man. Next Tuesday, Pluto will be back into Aquarius. Whether the creator mark it, I don't know. It may pass silently, but it ain't going to stop the cosmological event. Brethren, I'm here to say we got something to look forward to. For us, it just gets better and better, man. For the Uzians, their world is dissolving. It's dissolving. It's dissolving. It is dissolving. I don't want to sound gleeful or, So that's the best I can do for right now. Thanks, Dave. Brethren, thank you for joining me. I want to thank the creator. And Pray that everybody who looks at these videos, Creator, you bless them, give them understanding that we can elevate in our spirit, keep the most important thing in our minds, that not give away our opportunity to the world, but to learn while we here so that we can redeem the time, Creator. Pray that you bless all of us with the ability to redeem the time. Thank you for my video. Pray that anybody who looks at it, Creator, will attain to the light and will be able to also share that light with other brethren, other faiths all over the world. So, brethren, thank you. That's the best I can do for right now. Thanks, Dave. Thank you, brother. So that's the best I can do for right now. Pray the Creator bless all of you. I mean, for real, man, you know, that he give you, that you'll see him more clearly every day. We living in darkness right now, great time of aging, darkness covering the earth, and that means a separation between faithists and the world's people. So again, thank you for joining me, and until I see you next time on video, Creator willing, peace be unto you, brethren. Shalom.